How you doing, everyone? Anthony Taylor here, and today I want to talk to you about how you as a leader can effectively delegate. So this issue of the Leader's Digest is really around delegating, avoiding micromanaging, and how you can make that happen. So as a leader, whether you're a CEO, you're a senior VP, or a middle manager, your ability to be effective is critical. And so how can you be effective if there's only one of you? Well, the key there is to be able to delegate, to be able to make sure that things happen around you. So what's the difference between delegating and micromanaging? So delegating is making sure that you get the stuff done around you, that your team is supported, that you're moving everything forward. Micromanaging means you're spending a bunch of time getting into the weeds, making sure that every little minute piece of work is done. It means that you can't really be effective as a leader because your time is being spent policing people, making sure that their work is done instead of focusing on what you need to do best, which is typically leading and driving people and supporting them. So if you think about it as like a percentage of time that, you can be working on strategic things, you can be working on operational things, and the best leaders, the ones at the middle manager or higher level, are spending most of their time working on strategic things and not so much in the operations. Now, you might be a frontline employee, you might be a midline employee where you need to balance that, more operational work, less strategic. But if you are a senior leader or a CEO, you need to spend most of your time in that strategic zone and avoid getting into the weeds of the operational. So how do you do that? The key part is to be able to put the systems in place to make sure everybody knows what they need to do. As facilitators of strategic planning, that's one of the real benefits of being able to have a strategic plan is because it gives guidance to everybody in your organization. So if you have a clear vision, everybody knows what they're working towards. If you have a clear mission, it means that everybody understands how their work drives forward the purpose of the organization. If you have priorities, then it helps people focus their strategic time working on the business versus in the business or in the organization. And then if you have clear goals, then people know where their work needs to drive those goals. If you don't have any of that, it means that you, one by one, need to individually make sure, is that person moving forward the vision? Is that person moving forward the mission? Is that person moving forward strategic priorities? It can take a bunch of time. And so, as a good leader, you need to put systems and structures in place to support your people so you don't have to micromanage. One of the other tools that we want to use is communication. What are you doing as a senior leader to support the people around you and making sure that they're not getting stuck at any points in their work? If they're stuck with something or they're not making progress on something, it usually means they either don't have information or really aren't sure what to do next, which is still another block in information. So your job as a senior leader is to make sure that your team have clear direction and all of the information they need to make their own decisions. So if you look at delegating, you look at managing successfully, it's that your people have everything they need to be successful. They need direction, they need information, and finally, they need resources. If you're expecting somebody to drive 100 miles down the road, but you only give them money for 60 miles worth of gas, they're never going to get there. You're going to be frustrated, they're going to be frustrated, and it's a recipe for disaster. And it happens so often that when people build their plans, operational or strategic, they don't recognize or think about the resource allocation that's needed. When I say resource allocation, I don't just mean money. I really mean time, energy, focus. So as you're building your plans, make sure that the people have the clear direction that they need, they have the communication that they need, and they have the resources that they need. The last thing, as you look at how to better manage and better lead your people, is understand that time is an artificial constraint in most of occurrences. And so making sure that people can do the job successfully in whatever time it takes versus unsuccessfully fast. The fastest way to derail a project is to put timeline pressure on something that either doesn't need it or doesn't support the objectives. So in addition to providing strategic direction around the plan, you need to make sure that the environment around your team, around your people is such that it supports them accomplishing their goals and objectives. If you don't have that, then you as a leader is going to have to get in the weeds all the time, and it's going to be frustrating. It's going to be exhausting. You're going to wonder why these people are underperforming. And unfortunately, it probably falls back on you because you didn't provide what they needed to be successful. So one of the things that we can help with at SME Strategy, help you put that strategic plan in place so they have that direction. We also provide coaching and one-on-one support to add to your leadership capacity, not replace it, and to really help your team have the support, the environment, and everything that they need around them to be successful so they can accomplish their plan without you there. There's more of them than there are of you. So what are the things you can do from a systemic perspective to help your people succeed? That's the sign of a great leader. And as John Maxwell says, a leader with no followers is just going for a walk. So make sure that people are following you and make sure you give them the tools to be successful along the journey. Thanks for watching. My name is Anthony Taylor. I'm the CEO and a senior facilitator at SME Strategy. Hope you appreciated today's video. Would love your comments in the link below or link above, wherever this might be. And be sure to follow us for more on strategy and leadership. See you later.